What's up to all my people, and welcome to Stoniecast number 113 and season 4, episode 11 of Thoughts and Hunches, making money in bunches and sucker punches. It's your boy Stony coming back at you for the 113th time. And I'd like to welcome all my fellow scumbags, lowlifes, hoodlums, shady characters, anybody named Phil Mickelson, altar boys with unhealthy relationships with their priests, hustlers, cheats, foul-mouthed, raging alcoholics, the friends and family of the gooch, fienders with abusive language, and degenerates. Let's face it, anybody with a massive gambling problem. If you're new to the show, hey, you probably fit into a few of those categories, so welcome, because you become one of us. One of us. You're one of us, one of us, one of us, one of us. We accepted one of us. Gooba gobble, one of... Sorry, I digress. These things happen. Hey, make sure to hit the subscribe button right here in the lower right-hand corner. That way you can get notified every time I put out a new video. And to spread the word is also just as easy. Just tell other degenerates to go to YouTube and enter Thoughts and Hunches in the search bar. That'll take you to my page so you can get dialed in to everything that I drop on you. Also, if you're new and don't know what's what with this channel, it's college and pro football winners, MLB winners, and college basketball winners. I give you my picks to get you to the window with a ticket to crack, a ticket to cash. Nobody expects me, especially the books. They don't expect a guy like me. I come in, I'm an outlier, and I'm a disruptor. I'm like the Beastie Boys. Step into the party, disrupt the whole scene. It's what I do. Before I get to the picks, I have a few thoughts and programming notes as usual. Quarterback injuries took the headlines on NFL Sunday a few days ago as 5 starting quarterbacks got knocked out of their games. Tyrod Taylor, who's already filling in for an injured Danny Jones, Kenny Pickett, Matt Stafford, Desmond Ridder, Kirk Cousins, they all got knocked out. All of a sudden, backup quarterbacks have become a hot commodity. At yesterday's trade deadline, Minnesota traded for the recently benched Josh Dobbs from Arizona. It's the middle of the season, and the injury bug has bit close to half the league's signal callers. Speaking of backup quarterbacks, Sunday's Jets-Giants game was quite possibly the worst football game of all time. And yes, it featured 2 backup quarterbacks. Tyrod Taylor, who replaced Danny Jones for the Giants, and Zach Wilson, who replaced Aaron Rodgers for the Jets. The game featured 24 punts. I'd rather go to the dentist and have them hack away at my teeth than to watch a game with 24 punts. If you don't live in New York or New Jersey and you watch this game, shame on you, period. All right? That actually brings me to my biggest point, which is that there are some truly god-awful teams this season. There are more bad teams than there are good. At the halfway point of the season this weekend, there aren't more than 4 teams that are truly contenders for the Super Bowl. But there's at least a dozen teams that have no hope of being relevant for the next couple years. Has the NFL peaked? I wouldn't go that far, but it's safe to say that it is clearly top-heavy, or should I say bottom-heavy. For more truly awful NFL matchups this weekend, keep on listening, because while there's only maybe 3 good games this weekend, there are double that many that are basically unwatchable. The Raiders fired Josh McDaniels late last night in what has become arguably the biggest disaster of an NFL franchise. It all started as Al Davis got old. Davis was ahead of his time, and his renegade maverick style changed the NFL. As he got older, he didn't have anyone that he could trust to take over for him, so his moron son took over when he died. And aside from getting a very sweet deal in his move to Las Vegas with an unbelievable stadium that brings in more revenue than anyone else in the NFL, his hiring decisions have been atrocious. The Raiders have pieces in place. Devontae Adams, Max Crosby, Colton Miller, Hunter Renfrow. What they don't have is a coach and a good coaching staff. Not to mention, they continue to miss on their draft choices. My take is bring in Jim Harbaugh. With all the noise, just stop and think about this. Everything that's going on surrounding Harbaugh in Ann Arbor with the investigations and whatnot, it feels a lot like Pete Carroll's last season at USC when he knew the hammer was going to fall, so he bolted for Seattle and has been wildly successful up there. Harbaugh has been successful everywhere he's gone. Small school, San Diego, he was successful. Stanford, the 49ers, Michigan. His brother's a great coach. His dad was a coach. Maybe it's in the genes, but if you're a Raider fan, you should be begging Mark Davis to give Harbaugh whatever it takes to bring him in. Hell, you're paying McDaniels a lot of money to not coach. So give Harbaugh the same kind of money that you threw at Gruden. Wait 2 years, and you'll be in the playoffs. The Raiders need a defining moment, because when a defining moment comes along, you either define the moment or the moment defines you. Shout out Roy McIlroy, a.k.a. Tin Cup. In that division where you're going to face Mahomes, Herbert, and Russell Wilson twice a year, let Harbaugh come in and reset your franchise. Finally, if the World Series is ending, that means college basketball season is upon us. The season begins on Monday, and here's the deal. Top schools match up with other schools that you and I have never even heard of for the first few weeks until preseason tournaments begin. I'll be giving daily picks in the comment section of these videos starting on Monday. But although there's 100 games on the board, you might get 3 or 4. Because unless it's two, reasonable teams or somewhere where there's an angle to make money, then I'll bet them. But I'm not going to bet Kansas taking on New Jersey Institute of Technology. It's just not going to happen. I'm just not going to do that. So there won't be many at first. But in a month from now, it'll be all good. But make sure to check back for the dailies in the comments. College football last week, I never really could find my footing and get on a roll. I started in a hole with a couple of losses before Saturday. And while I did manage a winning Saturday, it wasn't great. I had to settle for a 20-18 week, but I did hit the degenerate special. So if the the degenerate special, is played the way that it's designed, then we did just fine. Then the NFL came, and once again, I delivered one of the best weeks ever. Red freaking hot. Your boy Stoney is clearly on fire and on a roll, okay? Despite losing on Thursday night to start the week, Sunday came along, and it never slowed down. Wins on both Sunday and Monday night to close the week 11-4-1. Add that to last week's 10-3 NFL weekend, and I dare anyone in the world to document a 21-7-1 run. 75% the last 2 weeks in the NFL. Yeah, that's real shit right there. All right? MLB was a nonstop 500 week every day, it seemed like. I closed out the MLB week at 4-4, which is not good. But any way you look at it, add up all the numbers, and that was my 7th straight winning week. Here are the numbers. For the week, 35 wins, 26 losses, 1 push, 57.37%. NFL saves the week once again. NCAA football for the season, 151 wins, 113 losses, 2 pushes, 57.19%. Not a good week after 38 plays, but still a solid number on the season. NFL on the season, 76 wins, 48 losses, 2 pushes, good for 61.29%. Big numbers mean big gains. Yeah, baby. And MLB playoffs, 50 wins, 33 losses, and 1 push, 60.24%. Even with the bad week, I'm still crushing the playoffs. So overall, every single pick that I've given you for 10 weeks now, since episode 1, back in August, 277 wins, 194 losses, and 5 pushes. 58.81%. That's as good as it gets. I mean, 59 was the goal, and I'm right underneath it. It's taken a couple of hot weeks to get me there, but we're only I mean, this is insane. We're only in week 11. We've got all the way till April with picks just coming. So 59% is the goal. And we're close, 58.81%. You're welcome. I mean, just remember that all these picks are 100% free. So all those touts that give you 75 to 80% winners, come on, we all know you're full of shit. Plus you're charging for those picks. With me, just come to YouTube every week and I'll drop my plays on you for free. You can also follow me on X at Stony Woods, STONIE Woods. I put yesterday's picks in the comments section of last week's video, and a 3-1 day to start the week is always a good thing, as I got a split in the World Series. You know, hitting the over in the third inning, the total, right? But I missed the side. And I hit on both NCAA matchups. Hashtag Maction, baby. It must be November. Maction. I love it. Let's move on and get started, okay? Tonight, 7 Eastern on ESPN in Ohio, as Maction is back for the remainder of the regular season, and it's a beautiful thing. Give me Bowling Green -5 at home over Ball State. 7:30 Eastern in Akron on ESPNU. We got a total snooze fest as 2 1-7 teams face off. I mean, come on, really? If you got to put a gun to my head and force me to take someone, I'll roll with Kent State +3.5 on the road over Akron. Tonight is Game 5 of the World Series, and the champagne is on ice in Arizona. But it's on ice for Texas, as they now have a 3-1 lead following last night's blowout. Tonight's a rematch of Game 1 as Nathan Eovaldi. He gets the ball in an attempt to bring the Rangers their first ever World Series title against Zach Gallen for the D-backs. Arizona had Texas dead in the water in Game 1 until Corey Seager's late-game heroics stole the game and got the Rangers going. Texas hasn't lost this postseason on the road. And as much as I like Arizona and Torey Lovullo, not to mention the fact that I said this series would go 7, give me Eovaldi and the Rangers to close it out tonight. Even without Adolis Garcia, it doesn't really matter. Bruce Bochy secures ring number 4 tonight, and I cash my Rangers ticket to win the series. Give me the Rangers on the run line, +145 and over 8.5. Tomorrow, Thursday night, NCAA action kicks off in Lubbock on FS1 at 7 Eastern with 2 Big 12 schools in the middle of the pack in the conference. I like Texas Tech here at home, laying 3 over TCU. Thursday at 7:30 Eastern, also tomorrow, in Durham on ESPN. Duke is a big 12.5-point favorite over Wake Forest in the Battle of Highway 40. A little more than an hour separates these two schools, and Duke is nice this year, not counting their last 2. But I'm going to take Wake on the road right here, catching 12.5. 7:30 Eastern tomorrow in Troy, a few hours south of here in Music City on ESPN2. I'm all over Troy, -6.5 at home over South Alabama in a battle of schools that are separated by about 2.5 hours. Hey, wait a minute. We also got Thursday night NFL action too, right? Amazon. That's right. Tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern at the stadium formerly known as the Giant Ketchup Bottle. The Steelers are 3-point home chalk over the Titans. 2 backup quarterbacks are starting. What else is new? It should be Tannehill versus Pickett. Instead, we've got Levis versus Trubisky. Tennessee basically saved their season by winning last week, preventing a 2-4 start, which would have had them dead in the water. Now they head to the Steel City, where Pittsburgh's 4-2 since everyone saw the Niners take them apart back in week 1. All of a sudden, the Steelers are good. Tomlin at home? Yep, count me in. He's not going to lose 2 straight at home. Pittsburgh -3. Friday night's NCAA starts at 7:30 Eastern in upstate New York on ESPN2, where I'm going to dance with Boston College +2.5 on the road at a struggling Syracuse. The late game on Friday night goes at 8 Eastern in Laramie on CBS Sports Network, where I like 3-5 Colorado State getting 7 on the road over 5-3 Wyoming. Saturday's NCAA slate, it's just massive. There are so many games I'm staring at right now. This is kind of crazy, right? There's some very nice matchups, so let's get started in Clemson at noon Eastern on ABC. 12th ranked Notre Dame comes to town as a short 3-point road favorite over Clemson, who's clearly struggling. Shout out Joe Namath, Joe Willie. Give me the Irish on the road here because Clemson has been on my shit list since week 1. At noon Eastern in Piscataway on CBS, another good matchup. 3rd-ranked Ohio State comes to town as an 18.5-point road favorite over Rutgers. The Buckeyes need to win this one and 2 more before the inevitable undefeated matchup at home versus 2nd-ranked Michigan. The problem is that the Buckeyes haven't looked too good. And Rutgers, on the other hand, hasn't looked very good lately. But they've looked very good all season. Give me the Scarlet Knights at home with all those points. Noon Eastern in East Lansing on FS1. I'm on Nebraska to continue to quietly deliver winning tickets as a 3-point road favorite over Michigan State, who can't wait for this season to end. Noon Eastern on ESPN2 at the Swamp in Gainesville, the home of Tom Petty. Shout out to the Duck Pond in North Gainesville. We get the 3 Fs of the SEC, the FCC. The SEC, that's faith, family, and football. I'm on Florida at home here as a 6-point home favorite over a reeling Arkansas squad. Let's stay in the SEC at noon Eastern on ESPN at the Grove in Oxford. I'm 11th ranked Ole Miss. I'm all over them right here. -3 at home over Texas A&M. Are you ready? Hell yeah, damn right, hotty toddy, gosh almighty, who the hell are we? Hey, flim flam, bim bam, Ole Miss, bye, damn. Hey, Ole Miss, man, hotty toddy. Another big win for them this week. I was going to say something really bad about Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M. But no, I'd rather take Lane Kiffin, period. A very good matchup in the Big 12 goes at noon Eastern on Big Fox in Austin, as 7th-ranked Texas is a short 4-point home favorite over number 25 Kansas State. The Longhorns are playing well, and they got their eye on the Big 12 title game, but so is K-State, who's red hot after a sluggish start. I like the Wildcats here on the road catching 4. 2 Eastern on Pac-12 Network in Salt Lake Stony. I like 18th ranked Utah to get back on the horse and get themselves right after last week's home disaster to Oregon. Give me the Utes -11 at home over Arizona State, who's been sneaky, but they're simply overmatched here. 3:30 Eastern in College Park on Big Fox. It's number 9 Penn State coming to town as a 10.5-point road favorite over Maryland. I made some jack on both these schools this year, though Penn State cost me last week. Maryland has dropped 3 straight, and Penn State will get right this week and roll. Nittany Lions, lay 'em. They win the big games, they win the meaningless games, but they can't beat Ohio State or Michigan. Plain and simple. I should have known. I should have taken Ohio State last week. I've been saying it for years, but it's just the way it is. 3:30 Eastern in the Steel City on ESPN. I'm going to take number 4, Florida State, -21 and a hook on the road over Pittsburgh, who gave up 58 to Notre Dame last week. 3:30 Eastern in Stillwater on ABC. The 118th edition and possibly the final edition of Bedlam takes place in 10th-ranked Oklahoma. Comes in as 6-point road chalk against Okie State. OU was exposed last week, and OSU's red hot. Give me the points and the pokes at home. 3:30 Eastern in Stoneyappolis on Big Ten Network. I like Minnesota at home laying 2 over Illinois in what should be a good one, but Illinois doesn't have it. 3:30 Eastern in Evanston on Peacock. It's Iowa and Northwestern meeting up to decide who has the worst offense. They both have good defenses, and despite the total being a ridiculously low 31 points, I'm still going to take the under. 3:30 Eastern in Athens on CBS. Top-ranked Georgia is having a 16-point home favorite over number 14, Missouri. Mizzou's having a very good season, but they can't hang with the top of the SEC, not to mention the rest of the country. Give me the dogs between the hedges and lay the number. 3:30 Eastern on ACC Network in Louisville. The hometown Cardinals are 9.5-point favorites over Virginia Tech. And while Louisville is rolling right now, Virginia Tech is improving. Give me the Hokies on the road with the points. 4 Eastern up the road about 15 minutes from here in Music City on SEC Network. I am all over Auburn as a 12.5-point road chalk over Vanderbilt. 5:30 Eastern in Eugene on Pac-12 Network. I'm on number 6 Oregon, minus 23.5 over Cal. Oregon, along with Michigan, in my view, are the two best teams in the nation right now, period. Cal hasn't been terrible, and they can score. But can they score against an Oregon juggernaut that's on a mission right now in Eugene? Nah. Ducks roll. 7 Eastern in Morgantown on FS1. I like BYU plus 10.5 on the road over West Virginia. 7 Eastern on ESPN in Ames. 22nd ranked. Kansas comes in fresh off their upset of Oklahoma. Everybody's all about Kansas. Give me Iowa State at home, minus 2.5. 7 Eastern in San Diego on FS2. I like San Diego State plus 2.5 at home against Utah State. Probably a money line play. Aztecs. 7:30 Eastern on NBC in Ann Arbor. I'm on number 2 Michigan to take out their frustration from the NCAA's bullshit sign-stealing investigation to make Purdue pay. Wolverines minus 32.5. Sure, why not? 7:30 Eastern in La La Land on ABC. Number 5 Washington is a 3.5-point road favorite over 24th ranked USC. If you can't trust the U.S. defense, and I clearly don't, I'll take Washington, laying the short number on the road in what should be a very entertaining and aesthetically pleasing game with Caleb Williams and Michael Penix chucking the ball all over the field. 7:30 Eastern on SEC Network in Starkville. Kentucky comes in after giving Tennessee all they could handle last week, while Hail State got knocked off on the plains against Auburn. Cue the cowbells. Give me Hail State at home. They're playing a lot better at home. The game of the day goes at 7:45 Eastern in Tuscaloosa on CBS, where number 8 Alabama is a 3-point home favorite over 13th ranked LSU, who is still ranked despite the softest non-conference schedule imaginable. Hey, Chinese Bandits, this ain't Army or Grambling. Roll Tide, Bama minus 3. 8 Eastern in Raleigh on ACC Network. I like North Carolina State as a 4-point home dog against Miami. All the Wolfpack have to do is get out of their own way and let Miami shoot themselves in the foot. It's that simple. 9 Eastern on Pac-12 Network in Pullman. I'm going to jump on Stanford, catching 13.5 on the road over Washington State. Cougars win, Cardinals cover. 10 Eastern in Boulder on ESPN. Deion Sanders gets more exposure, but loses badly again, as number 16 Oregon State comes in and beats up on Colorado defensively. Give me the Beavers, minus 13.5. 10 Eastern in Fresno on CBS Network. I like Fresno State to continue their run through the Mountain West with a surprisingly easy win over Boise State. Fresno minus 3. Finally, the Degenerate Special is back again after I hit last week to break my 4-game losing streak. I'm still at 5-4 on the season. So on the late night get right, aka Degenerate Special. So this time it's in Tucson at 10:30 Eastern. And while Arizona's caused a lot of trouble for Pac-12 schools this year, UCLA's defense will take over and pound away. Give me the Bruins, minus 2.5. That's 27 more NCAA plays to go along with the 9 leading up to Saturday that started last night, giving us 36 more times to cash tickets. If that's not enough, let's get to NFL Sunday. And we'll start early at 9:30 Eastern in Frankfurt, Germany on NFL Network, where a good one is set up with Kansas City, a 2.5-point home favorite over Miami. First off, remember, we have daylight savings this weekend. So everybody make sure to change your clocks. We get an extra hour of sleep, but don't oversleep for my friends on the West Coast, because that game goes at 6:30 in the morning for you. So just, keep your mind. Okay, Miami and KC. The Finns are looking good again, but I don't trust their defense, and they have a shaky offensive line. Can the Chefs lose 2 in a row? I say they can, because I see Tua and Tyreek having a field day. Finns plus 2.5 in Frankfurt. 1 Eastern in Cleveland. The Browns are 8-point favorites over the Cardinals. Cleveland shouldn't be favored over anyone by 8, right? But the Cards are a total shit show. Give me the Brownies and lay the lumber. 1 Eastern in Green Bay. The Packers are 3-point home chalk over the Rams. The Packers shouldn't even be favored over. The Packers should be 3-point favorites over the Cardinals, right? Over the Cardinals. Give me the Rams. 1 Eastern in Foxborough. The Patriots are 3-point home favorites over the Commando Skins. The Patriots shouldn't be 3-point favorites over the Packers or the Cardinals. Give me the Commando Skins. These are just horrible, horrible games. 1 Eastern in the Big Easy. New Orleans is a 7.5-point home favorite over the Bears. God, I hate laying this lumber. I really do. But no Justin Fields means give me the Aints in the Big Easy. 1 Eastern in Baltimore. We got a good one here where the Ravens are 5.5-point home favorites over the Seahawks. Both teams are playing well. Lamar right now has elevated his game, and the running games of both sides are clicking right now. But I like the Ravens at home. 1 Eastern in H-Town. The Texans are 2.5-point home favorites over the Buccaneers. Houston has overachieved this year based on the very good play of rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud. But they're the only team in the NFL to lose to Carolina. And now they'll lose again to a better Bucs squad, even though Baker Mayfield's the man in charge. Give me the Bucs and the points. 4 Eastern in Charlotte. The Colts come in as 2.5-point road favorites over the Panthers. Yeah, Carolina got their first win of the season last week. But Gardner Minshew has the Colts offense moving right now. Give me Indy minus the 2 and a chunk. 4:25 Eastern in America's Playground. This just epitomizes. This is what, the 5th, 6th, 7th game? Bad game? The Raiders are 3-point home favorites over the Giants. I mean, really? Can't the NFL just cancel this game? The Raiders have a new staff. It's 2 awful teams. I got to take someone. Give me the Giants and the points. Shit. 4:25 Eastern in Stoniecast. The Eagles are 3-point home chalk over the Cowboys in what's probably the game of the day. I'm sure it's going to get treated that way by the national media. They're going to be all over it. The Cowboys are erratic. Win big, lose big. Excuse me. Sunday, they lose big on the road to the Eagles, who are a machine right now. Give me Philly at home and lay the field goal. Sunday Night Football at 8:20 Eastern in the Queen City. The Bengals are 3-point favorites over the Bills. Here's another good matchup. The only team in the NFL more erratic than Dallas right now is Buffalo. The Bengals have found their groove and Burrow's healthy again. Watch out, AFC. I'm on Cincy minus 3. Monday Night Football goes at 8:15 Eastern in New Jersey as the Chargers travel cross-country as a field goal favorite over the Jets. The Chargers are the Chargers, and they're going to find a way to blow it, right? But the Jets are the worst 4-3 team in the history of the NFL. Give me the Chargers and lay the field goal, traveling cross-country. Counting Thursday night's NFL game, there's all 14 NFL matchups this weekend to go along with 36 college plays. That's an even 50, but the World Series plays, unless it ends tonight, will push it to 52, 55, who knows. 30 wins are a must. But in order to keep the pressure on, 35 is what we're shooting for to get to the window and cash as many tickets as possible. Remember to check back daily for the World Series games. If Texas loses today, I should say if Arizona wins the game tonight, tomorrow's an off day, so they'll be back on the field on Friday for Game 6 in Arlington. And if Arizona wins that one, there'll be a Game 7 on Saturday. So just keep in mind to keep your eye out for those. Next week's video is going to come around the same time. on next Wednesday. So until then, remember that if you want to win big, you got to bet big. You can't go broke taking a profit. Scared money don't make money. For me, the action is the juice. There's money on the streets that can't be ignored. And finally, good luck to you. Miss you, Gooch.